Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to the Cowboy Slot Channel. Today it is Sunday Slot Talk, and we're doing a completely new style. So welcome, everybody. And this is the first time that we have our co-host here. So we have our co-host, Mark. So my name's Brantley, and that's Mark, and we're going to be your hosts for today's Sunday Slot Talk with the Tech. Co-host here. So we have our co-host. Alrighty, guys. Well, welcome everybody to Sunday Slot Talk with the Tech. My name's Brantley. I'm joined today by Mark from Home Slots Fun. We're here to answer your questions live and talk about slot machines. So welcome everybody, and welcome to you, Mark.
Good. How are you doing? Is audio not coming through
here? Let me get this headset in really quick, make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, technical difficulties always show up on live streams. That's the way it works.
All right, so really before we dive in, let's talk about some topics here. So we've got the contest is coming up, and the contest is going to be ending here soon for the share contest for the video how to hit a hand-pay jackpot playing a lower budget. So if you have not seen that video, go over and check that video out. Share the video. You just tap on that little share button. Share the video. That's the first step. And the second step is just to comment hashtag shared on the video to be entered into that contest. That does end on the 25th. And we will be going in and pulling the winner live there on the 25th. It's a $100 Amazon gift card as well as a bunch of Cowboy Slots swag. And the other thing is poker chips are now available, guys. So you can buy these poker chips. They are now available. Let me put that banner up on the screen there. So if you would like to purchase poker chips or anything, you can go to my website at ropethejackpot.com and you can purchase those poker chips. You can also see event schedules and so much more. So definitely check out that website. And if you win using these methods, you can always submit your win on the website there, and I will happily put that up for you guys. Also, keep sharing those videos. We are at almost 33,000 subscribers. So definitely keep sharing those videos because that is very, very helpful. And that does help get the word of the channel out, and we will be doing more giveaways as the subscriber count increases. So that's kind of just some general housekeeping items there. So let's look into some questions, and we'll start taking those. Let's see here. What questions can we answer here? If we do go silent and look down for a minute, we're just looking for some questions. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. It is Father's Day, so very happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Absolutely.
And we'll start from the top here. Gail Marie, tipping. Is there a suggested amount to tip cocktail servers when they're delivering complimentary drinks on the floor? So honestly, with this question, tipping obviously is never something that's expected. Couple bucks or $1 per drink is usually about the average. So let's see here. Karen Williams, question on Class 3 slots. If the machine has to balance itself to meet the payout percentage, does that affect the randomness of the reels? So no, it doesn't. It doesn't affect the randomness of the reels. That aspect of it is never going to change. When we're talking about balancing, we're really just talking about the accounting record as far as payout percentages. And Mark, you want to elaborate a little bit more on those payout percentages?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing to keep in mind is that whenever a payback percentage is set on the machine, it's over the lifetime of the machine. So millions of spins. It can be set at 95%, and it can be anywhere from 45% to 150%, anywhere in between for the lifetime of that machine. So just because it's going to balance itself out eventually doesn't mean it needs to balance in your session. So when you're sitting down in a machine and you're playing the machine, you're not going to really notice the effects of any kind of balancing going on. It's still going to be essentially random. And so that's just something to keep in mind. You talk about payback percentage, people get caught up. Well, it's 95%, 96%, and this one's 85%. And, I should probably pay the one that's 95%. Yeah, I get that. And you probably should play the one that's higher, but you're not going to really notice in any kind of individual session when you're sitting at that machine, because it takes a very long time for those to balance out. Just to give you a quick example, this Lord of the Rings that I have behind me has gone through about 20,000 spins at this point. The payback percentage is set at 90%, and it's currently around 72%. So it hasn't even reached the amount that's been set yet. And that's over 20,000 spins. So it's got a long way to go to catch up. So just something to keep in mind as you're sitting down and playing. Try not to get all caught up in the payback percentage, because you're just not going to notice.
Right. So let's see. Thank you for your Sunday live chats. Very informative. You are very welcome, Johnny. And Talisha, hi, finally made it to a live session. Awesome. I hope this new platform is working out well for you guys. So we are still getting used to it. This is the first time we're doing this this new streaming software. So I hope that it's coming through okay. If there is any kind of video or audio issues, please let us know, because this program is entirely new. Club Mike, hey guys, hope you're all having a great weekend. We are. It's going a good weekend. Oh, here's a top dollar question for you, Mark. You want to take this one?
Sure. So Tony says, any thoughts on top dollar premium 5-line and single line? The casino near me only has those two top dollar machines. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. I'm not a big fan of the new top dollar premiums, especially the single line version. I would stay away from that one as much as possible. The payout amounts are very low, even though you're paying that extra 2 credits for the 5 credit max bet. I've watched a lot of those on YouTube, and the payouts are just garbage. There is a version, though, that is a 5-line version that is a 7 credit max bet. That one's actually a little bit better to play. I think it probably has newer software on it. The bonus amounts are generally higher. So if you do see that one with the 5-line, definitely hit that one up. But I would stay away from the single line one, because it's going to end in misery. I'll just tell you that. It's just not a good version to play. And it's unfortunate. There's the newest platform, so it's easy to lease those and put them on the floor. So that's why they're there and the old ones aren't. So.
All right, we got a question here from Low Roller Scratcher. Did Jackpot hand pay will increase payout to $5,000 soon? So as for that, that is something that I know that a lot of people have been bringing up. A lot of people have been talking about. Ultimately, it does fall on the decision of the IRS to do. So it will all depend on the IRS's decision, because that is entirely out of the casino's hands when it comes to taxes and so on and so forth.
Yeah, just to elaborate on that too. I mean, the idea behind it is that it's been set at $1,200 for something like 30 years. And if you count inflation from 30 years ago, just inflation in the last year alone, that's a big difference. And so the IRS is still collecting taxes on $1,200 wins, when nothing has changed for anything else. And so it should go up to 5,000, I would say. But one thing we have to be careful is what are they going to do? Are they going to reduce the ability to offset your losses? Are they going to mess with that? That's something, like Brentley says, that's something you're just going to have to wait for the IRS to figure out, and hopefully that they don't take away the benefits that we have of, say, claiming your losses on your tax forms to counter offer that 5,000 that they raise it to. So we'll just have to see. It'd be nice, and I'm sure a lot of casino employees would be happy too. But yeah, that's just we have to wait and see. That'd be nice if they do. Yeah, absolutely.
It would be very nice for sure. I would be excited about that. So when we're talking about jackpots, we got a question from Paul. Is it better to play high limits? So I think Mark and I are both in agreement on this. Is you always want to make sure that you're sticking within your budget. Everybody has their own definition of high limit. So whatever is high limit to whatever would be high limit to you. But the most important thing to always remember, regardless of the machine, is as the denomination of the machine increases, the odds will naturally increase. And that's just how the machines are written. That's how the laws are written. So Is it better to play high limits? Yes, as long as it's within your budget.
Absolutely, I agree for sure.
Let's see, we got a question from Tony. Are 5-reel slots harder to win on than 3-reel slots? I would say, honestly, I would say no, but it would be all dependent on the type of game that you're playing. If you're playing a game with a lot of bonuses or a lot of multipliers, then yes. Obviously, there is a lot of higher reward when you're getting into, having more bets, more options, stuff like that. I wouldn't necessarily say it's harder to win on.
One thing I'll add to that is one thing to keep in mind on 5-reel slots is that it's hard to line up 5 symbols all the way across. And so, like Brentley says, the payback may be a little bit bigger, if you get 5 symbols across, but think of how hard it is to get those extra 2 reels to line up. So it's more difficult, but more rewarding. So that's really the main difference between them. And Brentley's right on that. I don't think there's any kind of edge. Just don't expect to get 5 of a kind across the slot machine very often, because it's difficult to hit that.
Yeah, that can be difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. We got a $10 super chat from Keith. Thank you very much, guys. We really do appreciate those super chats. It helps the channel out a lot. So thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. Question from Shirley: are the hold and spin bonuses payouts predetermined? The actual spinning part with you're trying to get all the orbs and stuff like that, it is not, that part is not predetermined. No,
that's correct.
Let's see, Linda, Mark, you want to take this question?
Sure, why not? Can you explain why Double Diamond Deluxe is considered more volatile? Would have thought the extra move on the reel gives an extra chance, and same for quick hits, single pay line to credit max. That's one of those psychology things. You think that there's more chances because the symbols can move up and down, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a better game or worse game to play. I honestly don't think there's a lot of volatility change between that one and the regular diamond, the double diamond. The pay tables are exactly the same. I just don't think there's any benefit. It just is more exciting to play, I think, because the symbols can move up and down. It's a little bit more excitement than, seeing the symbol not land on the first reel and thinking that's it, their spin's dead. You can have the things move. So I don't think there's any volatility change on that one. For quick hits, single pay line, 2 credits max. I'm not familiar with a quick hits that's a single pay line, 2 credits max. Brentley, have you seen one like that before? Maybe an older one, but
single pay line quick hits, I've seen a lot of those in the older style.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
they're usually combined with another theme, like the Flaming Sevens or something. Yeah, right. I got you. I remember now. It's probably more volatile because you can get the random quick hits in the 3 and get one of the, not the top jackpot, but the one right underneath it. So the quick hit can land anywhere above or below the line on all 3 reels, and you still get that second tier jackpot. I don't know what that does to the volatility, to be honest. It's just another way to win, essentially. So I can't really comment on volatility, but yeah, play with what you enjoy playing when it comes to that. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Cowboy, is it possible the new style slots can be Class 2 machines even though there is no bingo card visible on the machine? Yes. With Class 2 machines, they can still be Class 2 even if there is not a bingo card displayed out on the machine. So that is true. Yes, they can be. Looking good stream-wise. Thank you so much. We're really liking this new format. It's really it's working out. So wonderful. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that it's working out. Let's see here. What other channels there? We getting some more compliments here on our new stream, so that's good. Let's see. We still got a lot of questions, guys, and I do apologize because we do have a lot of questions coming in. So if we skip your question at all, We will try our best to come back to it. But we do this every single Sunday. So if we do miss the question, you are always free to come back next Sunday.
Yeah, and also to add to that, if we end up missing a question, both of us always go back and look through the comments, and if we miss something, we'll make sure that we address it when we open the live show next time. So we're not ignoring you for sure. I mean, I'm looking at my screen here and I can't keep up either, so it's fast. But keep the questions coming because we want the questions, obviously. But if we can't get to them, we will certainly bring it up in the next week.
So we got this question, which this question was actually recently covered in a video that I did. So guys, there's a lot of videos in my library. Be sure to check out my video library because a lot of these individual questions are broken down into videos. But is there a particular day or time that is best for playing slots? The answer is no. The machine's programming does not change based on the time of day of the week, anything like that. That is purely just a myth. And Mark and I have both worked with these machines, actually worked with these machines inside and out, and worked in the casinos. And we can tell you that that is not true in any way, shape, or form. And Mark, you can add to that if you want. And
I mean, if you want to see the actual displays, the actual menus that attendants see, I do have some videos on my channels where I show you kind of the behind the scenes of what these machines look like if you go into the attendant mode. And there's no time or day. It's a fixed amount and they can't be changed at any time. There's a big process you have to go through and it's just not something that it's set up to do. So no time or day is better. Play when you feel like playing.
Right.
Don't try to schedule your slot play at a certain time because you're not going to get any kind of advantage over doing that.
And I mean, personally, for me, I like to try to avoid the crowds, and so I go when it's slow, for sure.
There you go. You don't get those creepers staring at you from behind.
Right. Poor Farm. I got my Cowboy Slots lucky poker chip. Is it guaranteed to bring me better luck when playing? Well, we can never guarantee anything, and that's one thing. Is nothing's ever guaranteed in the world of the casino. But
no, you're a liar. You're a liar.
Out there,
it actually does. It does increase your odds.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
But for all of you out there that don't have one yet, I do have these lucky poker chips. They are available for sale right now. I sold out of them. They went really, really fast, and already there's a lot of orders for those coming in. You can order those on my website, and there's the link right down there. It's ropethejackpot.com. So if you would like to order poker chips, you can order those. They are available right now on the website. All right, so let's get back to some questions here. This one's kind of, I think, elaborating more on the time. Do machines pay out better just before they pull all the money out at 4 a.m.? No, they do not. So the drop team comes through usually around 2-3 in the morning, each and every day. Depending on the casino, they usually come out when it's dead, and they just take the cash can out and swap it out with a new one. That's all they do. The drop team has no control over the machines whatsoever. They don't actually open the main door. They just open the belly door of the machine and just swap the can out, and they do it really fast. So no, that doesn't affect anything on the machine whatsoever.
Yep.
All right, let's grab some more questions here. Going on a cruise soon, should I stick to one machine the whole week or play around? I would play around. I would check out the casino. Make sure you walk the entire casino and check it out, and check out all the machines that they have. I wouldn't necessarily stick on one machine. Would you do that, Mark?
No, and that's the psychology thing too. You sit in a machine and you feel like a bonus is coming soon or a big pay is coming soon because you fed a lot of money into it. Those are all myths. Those are just playing into your psychology. You're thinking that it's coming. And that's the way these machines are designed. Whenever they program these machines, they like to program in the near misses and I almost got the bonus, or, I keep getting the mini, the major must be coming soon. Those are all things that they program in there to keep you playing. And so I would actually suggest getting up and going around too, because it kind of gives you a break in that cycle and gets you kind of back to back to normal thinking before you sit down at another machine. So yeah, definitely walk around and play, have fun,
and enjoy the cruise. That's
absolutely,
really fun.
yeah.
Enjoy the cruise.
Yep,
For sure.
that's right.
Tony has a question here. You said that slot machines are regulated. Do you know if card shufflers have to be regulated as well? Any gambling device does have to be regulated. The card shufflers are a little bit different, and honestly, that's outside of my wheelhouse. So I wouldn't be able to answer any regulatory questions on card shufflers. But yes, they are regulated. Mark, do you have any insight on card shufflers?
I don't either. I don't either. But I'm sure they wouldn't exist without some kind of sticker on it.
Paul, thank you very much. You're awesome, Paul, for being here.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Paul.
KCBH, I have an older 3-reel machine that never pays off. Can I make it pay out more? There's a good question for you, Mark.
Yeah. Is it a 10 times pay?
Right.
If it is, no.
Yeah.
It really depends on the game. You can get game chips with higher payback percentages, especially if it's an older machine. But again, it's probably the volatility of the machine. Casey, if you want to mention in chat what the actual game theme is, I'll be able to tell you exactly why it's never paying off. So we'll look out for that comment follow up.
Yeah. Is there any decent future in being a slot tech? I just started at Bally's Casino, but they pay bad. Really, it all depends on the casino that you work for. But right now, I know the casinos especially are they're very competitive when it comes to employees. So I would honestly keep checking around. Movement within the casino industry is extremely common. We had people that hopped casinos all the time. They worked I worked for 4 different casinos. So it's very common to hop around to different casinos for sure.
And they're also starting to outsource more too. So a lot of the smaller casinos, especially after COVID, they could not keep a full staff of slot technicians on board. So, they would actually bring in consultants from the Las Vegas area, for example, that just go around to other casinos, like you said, that don't work for any particular casino. But I would agree that they don't get paid nearly as much as they should. It's a headache to deal with these things. Let me tell you, they should get paid a lot for what they have to deal with.
Well, and we wish, trust me, we wish there was some magical switch in the background under a desk somewhere, but there is not. And it is a lot of work.
That's right. That's right.
Let's see. Deftones 22. Are free spins random in the RNG, or does the game already know how much the free games are going to pay even before the bonus starts? So I think, Mark, we're on the same page with this one. The free spins are still determined by the random number gen. They're not predetermined. When you actually get free spins, those are not predetermined.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And there are probably some exceptions, but the general rule is definitely. I would agree with that. Yep.
Let's see. CB76 won 5,900 in 2 days. Total time under 30 minutes. Thank you for your tips. Great channel. Thanks. You are very welcome. And I'm so glad that those are working out for you guys. Be sure, once again, be sure to share the videos and help spread the word. Because these tips, I'm blown away by the comments that I've been getting, that so many people that these tips have been helpful. And it is all free here on the channel. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to share. So be sure to share these videos. So if something has helped you out, be sure to share it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, whatever. Be sure to share those. Here's a question here. Machines that share the same gram progressive, are they on the same account, if that makes sense? Mark, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. So, if they show the same amount, then they are linked. There's standalone progressive, and then there's local area progressive, and then there's wide area progressive. So those are the 3 types of progressives you can have. Solo is when it's just tied to the machine itself. So that's when you could see a bank of, say, lightning links, and they all have different grand jackpots. Those are local area progressives. And then, those are the single progressives. And then you have the local, which is just to that casino. So if you see a bank that a lightning links and they all have the same, but then you go to the casino next door and they don't. That's a local area progressive. And then the wide area progressives are the ones like your Wheel of Fortunes, your Mega Bucks that encompass many, many different properties. So no, that's how you can tell if they're not counting up at the same amount and they see that show the same amount, they're not linked.
Mark, I think you're the best to answer this question here.
Okay.
We got. I've been searching the internet for a guide that shows the key codes for an S2000 machine. I'm trying to figure out what payout percentage is programmed for my home machine. Any recommendations?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do a shameless plug here, but come check out my channel, Home Slots Fun. That's what we do here mostly, and I have lots of videos on the S2000 platform about how to do the settings for that. So without going into a lot of detail here, I do walk you through all the menus, and you can see how to change it, how to do a RAM clear, all that type of stuff. And so if you're a geek like you sound like you are when it comes to slot machines, come on over. We'd love to have you here, so because that's what we do here. But
you can still buy like if you're looking for particular key chips or anything like that, you can still purchase those. They're pretty easily
absolutely, and I've got
purchased.
One of the things, just based on the machines that I get through here, I have a lot of connections in the industry to people that have all the software or anything that you might need. So I don't charge anything for it. Just hit me up and say you're looking for a certain thing, and I'll pass it on. So happy to help.
Let's see. Notorious Picks. Do you have a strategy for how many pulls you will try before switching to a different machine? I've heard of a 5-pull method, meaning if the machine doesn't hit within 5, you should switch to a different one. So no, there is no. The slot machine does not understand it. The slot machine cannot differentiate you from another player. It cannot differentiate. How many spins. There is no settings for that in anywhere in any machine, brand new or old. And that has also been talked about by, I believe, American Casino Guide had a video out not too long ago where they actually brought an executive from a slot manufacturer, and that there's no programming for that. I do not have any method. It really, honestly, if you're doing something like that, if you're just trying to get a feel on a machine, I would just get a feel for it, naturally. Sometimes I have had many times where I have walked up to a machine and I've hit a jackpot instantly right away. And then there are times that, I sit there for an hour and I don't hit anything. And then all of a sudden I hit a jackpot. So there's no method or number of pulls to try. And Mark, you can touch on that too.
Absolutely. The only merit I see to a 5-pull method is just to slow your play down and to have you reset and think about it. And one of the things I always mention is, euphoria. If you have never heard of euphoria, go look it up on Google sometime. But euphoria is a very real thing in the slot machine business. It's that feeling of, the endorphins running through and stuff when you get a big win, and then you kind of, all of your logic and reasoning just goes out the window. And so what's good about, say, sitting down a machine and limiting yourself to 5 spins or 10 spins or whatever is it's allowing you to reset. You play that machine, maybe you get a win, maybe you don't. You cash out and you go find another machine, and you just kind of enjoy having fun playing the slot machines instead of trying to make money off of them. So that's how I see a 5-spin method is to just money management and going through and just slowing down your play and thinking about what you're doing. But there is no programming inside of the machines that say that they're going to give you any kind of taste or 5-spin, logic that, machines are set up to do it or not. That's just simply not true. That's not how they're set up to work.
Right. And like you said too, I think it's good in terms of money management and kind of giving yourself a set number. But as for better chances or odds or anything like that, it really does have no effect.
Yep, correct.
Where is the best place to purchase a slot machine? So if you are interested in purchasing a slot machine, I know I have a buyer's guide on my website with partnership with Slot Machines Unlimited. They sell slot machines. They're a really good place. Actually, a friend of mine just purchased a slot machine from them yesterday. So yes, you can buy slot machines, but you do want to double check your state And there is a guide on there. It's easy to break down. So I will put the website up again for you guys. But if you go to my website, ropethejackpot.com, there is an area on there where you can click to see your state's regulations for if you are able to own slot machines, if you're able to own slot machines at your home. So be sure to check that out as well. Let's see. Ralph asks, do slots sleep like personal computers if not used for a certain period of time? They do not. The machines are built from the manufacturer to run 24/7, 365 and never shut off. So there's no sleep mode or anything like that. And Mark,
and
I'm
they're
sure
also
you can...
and they're also built to be very annoying. There's the track mode. I know you've heard him go off on Brentley's machines before. These ones behind me scare the hell out of me sometimes because they'll just start going into a track mode and shouting at me. They stay on and they try to get people to come up to them constantly. So no, there's no sleep mode. I wish there was sometimes.
Right.
They do get noisy.
Anna asks, on machines like dancing drums, are you more or less likely to win jackpots if you're playing 88 cents or $8.80? So I'll do my bit on it, and then I'm sure Mark can jump in as well. So the thing about dancing drums, which is interesting, is you do not have to play max in order to get the jackpots. And this also plays a part into making sure that you're always reading and understanding the games before you play them, because some games will require max and some games won't. Dancing drums does not. You have the exact same equal chance to get the grand playing 88 cents as you do $8.80. However, if you are playing the higher bet within that, the $8.80, obviously you're going to get more line hits that are more higher paying line hits, which can trigger a jackpot hand pay. But as for if you have a better chance, your chances are the same on that particular game. Your chances are the same.
Yeah, I can't really elaborate too much. You know way more about dancing drums than I do, but the one thing that I would always look at is the instructions on a machine, and it'll be printed somewhere on there if it does make a difference. So if it, let's say for example, they had something inside of the instructions or the play game rules on the machine that say, increasing your bet increases your chances of a jackpot, then that would be true. But if it doesn't mention that, then it's probably the same chances across the board. So always go and look at those things.
Yeah. Always know your machines.
Yep.
Always do your research, and especially. Zappy Eats. Lots of states are legalizing online casinos, and the big brands like Caesars and MGM are they safe and fair for players to play and win at home in legal states? The answer is yes, those are safe. So MGM and Caesars, obviously, they're very well known. They're very established brands. Those are safe to use. And on the community page on my Facebook, or not Facebook, sorry, the community page on my YouTube channel does have a link to MGM's casino to give you, I believe it's $1,000 bet match for the legal state. So if you live in a legal state, I'm going to try to renew that and put it kind of more up in the community page. But if you go to the community page on my YouTube channel, there is a link on there that gives you guys a little bit of some bet reimbursement and bet match when it comes to MGM. Mark, you want to take this one?
Do you recommend playing slot machines in Las Vegas Airport? If so, which game? So, if memory serves me right, Las Vegas Airport used to be separated out in the return to player statistics that were published by the Nevada Gaming Commission. I don't believe that's the case anymore. So we don't really know specifically what payback percentage you can expect to find on those. I can't really say whether it's a good idea to play or not to play in the airport, but I just don't. It's probably not a good idea because it's just not as fun as playing inside a casino where you get the drink service, you get the comps, you get all the other stuff that you're just going to be missing out in the Las Vegas airport. And I suspect that they're probably set to pretty close to the minimum that they're allowed to get away with just because it's the airport right? People are wasting time before their flight starts. It's a perfect opportunity to get people's money. But as for knowing for sure, I don't. I can only speculate, and that's up to you whether you want to play there or not. But personally, I wouldn't.
Teresa, how do I get the best bang for my buck on a penny machine max bet ladder method? So one thing I have to stress about penny machines is penny machines are overall the absolute worst game that you could ever play in the casino when it comes to the odds of the game. It doesn't matter. The penny machines are usually not, they're usually terrible machines to play. Watch your max bet, watch what you're betting on those penny machines. The only time that really penny machines are good is if you enjoy the game. If it's a game that you enjoy, then obviously gambling is for entertainment. You want to be entertained and you want to enjoy that game. But if you go to a penny machine and you're spending 500 credits, which is $5, you might as well go to a $5 slot machine because you're spending the same amount of money and your odds are astronomically greater. When it comes to anytime people ask me about penny machines, about what is the best penny machine to play, my answer is always don't play penny machines. But Mark, do you have any method on penny machines that you want to elaborate on?
Not really. My suggestion is the same, especially all the ones that have come out in the last, I'd say, 5 years or so. They are penny machines, but usually the max bets, like Dancing Drums, for example, 888 is way up there. I mean, you're almost close to playing a $10 machine. But the odds are programmed at the penny level, and so they're generally worse. But here's the thing. Here's the bad side of that is that penny machines are usually the most exciting to play and the most fun. They're usually centered around some kind of theme, like Lord of the Rings and Willy Wonka and stuff that I have. And so they're a little bit more exciting to people than just sitting at a 3-reel old style spinning reel game. Even though those are the better ones to play, people want the excitement, and that's perfectly okay. You can still win on penny machines. Don't get us wrong; it can happen. But if you should always go to have fun, number one, and play within your budget. That's rule number one, right? Before you even walk in, and rule number two is to play what you feel you're getting the most excitement from. So, yeah, stay away from penny machines if you feel like you're not winning anything because they're mostly designed to take your money over the other
Right.
style. But if you're open to playing other machines that have better odds, then go for it. Do it. I would recommend the same.
For sure. Ralph asks, does increasing the bet refer to multiplier or the denomination? So increasing the bet would be within the same denomination. So say, for example, we'll just take a $5 slot machine. If you were at a $5 slot machine, you can play 1 credit for $5 or 2 credits for 10 or 3 credits for 15. So that would be increasing the bet. You're still in that same denomination, but you're just increasing the amount of coin in into the machine. And coin in is the terminology for money in, which we still use that today. Even though there's not physical coins, we still use the term
Right.
coin in.
Right.
That is the current technical term.
Yep.
Let's see. We got a top dollar question, Mark. You want to take this one?
I knew I set myself up for that. So top dollar and pinball are for fun. The payout sucks. Double, triple, single line is the best. Just read the payouts. Poker machine are the best odds if you like poker. I've hit progressive high limits. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions here, but or statements, but poker machines do typically have the best odds, and they're one of the few that can get pretty close to 100%, and even some are over 100%. And by the way, Brentley did a great interview with American Casino Guide on video poker. If you haven't seen that, I learned a lot from it, stuff that I didn't even know. I would definitely go back and watch that. It was cool.
So definitely check out the library. There is a video in there about video poker, and I learnred new stuff from the American Casino Guide. I was very impressed. It was a very good video. So even if you're a novice or if you're an expert video poker player, you want to check out that video because they have a lot of good information on there.
Yep. And as for the comment about top dollar and pinball, it's all comes down to volatility again. Those machines are typically more volatile than your triple, double diamond machines. And so, yeah, payout probably does suck over the long run, but it's that attempt to get something great that you probably can't get on a triple double machine. And so it all comes down to volatility, how the machine's going to pay out. So
right. So David has a question here. I keep hearing the term resetting the machine. What exactly does that mean? And is there any player benefit by resetting the machine? So, this is something that I find oftentimes gets thrown around a lot by people that don't work in the casino or that don't really know. Machines really do not get reset unless they have to. And I mean, when we are talking about resetting the machines, we're talking about resetting the programming, and that almost rarely happens unless the machine is having a, like a really big problem that it has to be like fully reset and, keyed and cleared is what we call it. But the machines don't reset by themselves, nor do they reset any time or day. It's a big process. The machines have to be powered down to do that. So I guess when you're hearing people use the term resetting the machine, I would first be cautious about that because the machines don't reset like people think they do. What it actually means is, when we have to take the machine either off the floor and into the back, or we have to do work there at it, and we have to clear out all of its accounting records, clear out all of its programming, and reset it. And typically that's only done if the machine's having like either a major hardware issue or there's new software that needs to go into that or anything like that. Even for changing the odds on a lot of machines, you don't have to do a full reset on that. And Mark, you can elaborate if you'd like.
You explained it well. I mean, that's exactly right. Yep.
Linda, last Sunday I was playing with around $20 on slots, never played, and boom, won 2 hand pays. Wow. That's impressive off of $20.
Yeah, absolutely. One quick follow-up to that though. If that's the first time you've done it, just remember and keep in your mind that was probably a one-off event. So don't expect it every single time you go. It could happen again.
Right.
But that's how people get into trouble, especially when they're first starting out and doing like starting out in high limit for the first time or whatever. And it's hard. I mean, your brain is telling you, wow, this is easy. I just sat down with $20 and I got 2 hand pays. I could just keep doing this. Just be careful is what I'm saying. Because, in the long run, it'll take everything.
Right.
So, just be careful. But I'm glad you did it. Absolutely. That's amazing. I hope you got up and left.
For sure. Congrats on that.
Yeah.
Here's the information from Casey about that previous question that he had.
Okay.
91 IGT Area 51 model.
Yeah, so that's a very old machine. Machines back then didn't actually have payback percentages that could be changed. And I think, even if I did find another chip that had a different payback percentage, I wouldn't be able to find it. That's such an old machine. That's pretty big jackpot for that. Actually, Casey, if you could email, I would love to see a picture of that machine. homeslotsfun@gmail.com. Just shoot me a picture of that. I love seeing old machines.
Let's see. Joan, how do drawings work at the casino? Does it matter how many tickets I have? Honestly, that's more of a question for Players Club, which the slots department doesn't really have anything to do with. But it works just like any other drawing. Obviously, more tickets, more chances, and it's all random when it comes to drawings machine. So, but people do win. People win all the time at those. Let's see here. And once again, guys, if you are just joining us, we do apologize. We've got a lot of questions that we're sifting through. So if we miss your question at all, apologize for that. And also, guys, one more thing too, if you are just joining, the poker chips that everybody has been asking for, they are available for sale. That information's up on your screen. You can get those at ropethejackpot.com and also submit your wins. If you win on these machines, you can submit them and I'll happily put them up on the website. So again, we're just looking through some questions here because There is quite a bit. Zappy Eats, how can it be illegal to own a slot machine in so many states if they are just a computer with software on there? Well, that's easy. A lot of states worry that people would use them for illegal gambling purposes, and that's the reason why. So, different states obviously have different rules and regulations, and laws are changing all the time. But that's the biggest reason why a lot of states prohibit it is because they would be afraid that you would try to open, illegal gambling operation or something like that. Let's see. Deftones 22. When whales tell the casino, "Hey, I want this dealer. I want these odds on blackjack," and on, can they do anything to make a request on a slot machine other than to have a room for themselves? No, they cannot. They can request a slot machine to be held for them. That is actually very common. A lot of times, it happens a lot in Las Vegas. You'll see, especially at Bellagio, I've seen it. There's one machine at Bellagio that for some reason all of the really, really high rollers love to play, and a lot of the top tier MGM members will actually call in advance and have that machine reserved for them. And yes, we can reserve machines. But as for changing anything on it, absolutely not. There's no way to change anything on that. As for how much the slot machines cost, it really all depends. It depends on the game. It depends on what game, what model, anything like that. It varies quite a lot. And then also another question about buying slot machines. Is it possible to buy a Dragon Link machine for your home? Currently, no. And Mark, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't think that's on the private market yet.
It actually is.
It is?
But it is, but it's very expensive.
It's like probably what, 20,000 or something?
No, it's not that bad, but
something
it's close
crazy.
To 6,000 to 7,000 to get something like that.
I haven't seen any on the private market, so that's the first
time. And they're mostly built from scratch, believe it or not, because it's just the CPU that you really need to be able to pull that off. But yeah, they're out there, but they're really expensive.
Yeah,
it's not for the typical home slot machine owner.
Yeah, for sure. I know a lot of people.
It's a lot cheaper to just go to the casino and play it.
Yeah, it would be, unless of course you hit a major giant jackpot and you want
That's
that,
true. Right.
Debbie says, for years I've heard so many conflicting thoughts on playing with your player's card in a machine and that it affects how much you win or lose, and I would love to know your thoughts on it. So the players, this is a very common question that we get asked a lot. The player's card has absolutely no effect on the gameplay of the machine. The player tracking system does not connect to the game chips at all whatsoever. And Mark, you can elaborate that. On that as well, because Mark can also tell you your player's card has nothing to do with the machine. I always tell people to make sure that you always play with your player's card, because you want to earn those points. You want to earn those comps and those benefits.
Yep.
I mean, why, if you're going to get something out of it, like free rooms or anything like that, earn them. You want to earn those points. Don't let those points go to waste. But as for affecting the game, absolutely not. Your player's card has nothing to do with the gameplay of the machine. And Mark, you can elaborate more.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to connect the two. The only thing that the player's card system can do is to insert credits, and that's for like your bonus play, your free play, things like that. But as for manipulating any kind of gameplay itself, it's impossible. They cannot talk to each other, and that's set at the manufacturing level. So that's not something the casinos can even mess with. When these machines come out, they are two separate systems, and that's by design, because we don't want that to be manipulating the result of the play at all. So yeah, I'd hate to break it to you. I've heard that one for years and years and years. And there's a lot of people that will say, well, I've hit a jackpot when I had my card in. It's like, well, here's the example I always give. It's like, take 10 quarters and, flip them. We all know it's about 50-50, right? 50-50, it's going to be heads and tails. Well, do that and then put a card down in front of you and flip the 10 quarters again and see if it makes any difference, and then repeat that 50 times. You're not going to notice any difference. And that's the same thing with slot machines. It's just, you just happen to notice when your card was in or not. And so your brain constantly looking for patterns and ideas on how to manipulate things is going to spot that, and you're going to try to associate it with it. But it's simply not true. It's impossible.
Right. Let's see. Tom, I was wondering if slot technicians are bonded, if there's any classified information that they are not allowed to reveal. So this is a question I have gotten. I have gotten this before. There is certain information that obviously we cannot tell you, and that's anything that would be security sensitive or related to, anything, basically anything security sensitive to the operations of the casino. We can't tell you. And when you're working for the casino, obviously, I'm not currently working for the casino, but even after you leave, there's certain other things that, obviously we can't tell you. But the thing is that most of that information doesn't have anything to do with the gameplay of the machine. Tony says, thanks for sharing all your knowledge and time for doing this. You rock. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Ramon, this is a question that's come up a lot recently. How do slot tournaments work? I was invited to one, but I don't know how they work. Thank you. A lot of people, and actually Mark, we've kind of talked about this, and there have been a lot of more comments. People associate a tournament slot machine or a slot machine in tournament mode with a regular slot machine, and they are vastly different. And Mark, you can elaborate on that if you'd like.
Yeah, if you guys have ever watched, before you do any tournament, I always recommend watching one first, just so you know what you're getting into, because it is different. And you'll notice that a lot of the combinations that you get on the reels are stuff that you would just never see. It's like top jackpots. You get 3 double diamonds all the time. You get 3 triple diamonds all the time. 2 triples and a 7. It happens frequently in tournament mode because you're basically playing for points, right? And spending the reels as fast as you can. So there is a tournament mode where you're going to see those higher pays come in more frequently. And then there's a regular mode that's outside of that. And they're run completely different, but they're still random. It's just that the pay tables are different. It's scheduled on points instead of amounts, that type of thing. So,
well, and another important
good luck, by the way.
Yeah. And another important thing to add, because some people out there believe that, well, what if a casino were to leave a machine in tournament mode? When it's in tournament mode, it is not playing anything for physical cash. It's on a timer, right, and it's playing for points. So it doesn't even do any kind of accounting whatsoever, because it's not dealing with money at that point. But as for how slot tournament works, it's really all about speed. And like Mark said, it's a very good thing to watch it first. You want to make sure that you watch the tournament first. Make sure that you know what you're getting into, and then you can go from there. Let's see here. This is kind of another one about the Players Club card. Again, like we just talked about a little bit, the Players card has absolutely nothing to do with the machine whatsoever.
I will comment on what he's saying. If you hit a jackpot, your player's card is not going to make any difference. The IRS is going to learn about that jackpot because you have to fill out the W-2G. Right. There's just no way around that. Your player's card, you could have it not in there. Your IRS is still going to find out about it. However, you should really have it in for your losses, because one of the benefits of your end of the year when you're doing all of your taxes is that you can offset your jackpots with your losses. And players' cards are a great way to capture that information so that you can just print it out and send it to the IRS. It's very simple. I would always play with your players' card in, because we all know what's going to happen. I mean, most people at the end of the year are going to be at a net loss with slot machine play. And so you want to get those benefits of declaring your losses. And so your players' card is definitely how you do that, the easiest way.
Yep. Always use your card. Always use your player's card.
Right,
I can't say that enough. If you have any question about your player's card, my answer is always going to be always use your player's card. Plain and simple.
Yep.
David says, out of curiosity, what does the average slot machine weigh? And are most slot machines assembled as multiple pieces or just one solid piece? Mark, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I can't believe I haven't gotten a hernia yet for moving these damn things around.
They are heavy.
I tell you, They're very heavy. This Lord of the Rings is 450 pounds. G23 is a little bit less. It's around 250. I have a hydraulic lift to get them up and off the stands. I'm sure you did the same, Brentley, when you're moving machines around. They're very, very, very heavy. And I don't really understand why. We always joke in this industry that they're putting a bunch of hidden weights in the bottom, because it doesn't make sense that they're as heavy as they are.
I know they shouldn't be. I think it's mostly for, they don't want people to.
I mean, who's going to run off with it? I mean, yeah, they're bolted down.
On the base of it.
They're bolted down, but even
sure.
then, I could barely move them out of here. So, I mean, I think you're going to be noticed trying to lift a machine out of there. But yeah, they're very, very heavy. And by the way, that's what makes it difficult to buy these things remotely, is because they have to be shipped with freight.
Shipping is ridiculous.
And right now, with gas prices and everything, it's very high. And so that's the unfortunate thing. You can't just walk this into a postal service store and say ship this.
Right.
You have to get logistics involved. So
I had when I had my store, I had somebody that bought a slot machine, and we went to go take it out to their vehicle, and they had a little convertible. And they wanted us to put it in the back seat in the convertible, and that was difficult.
Believe it or not, sure. Anytime I sell a machine and they're saying they come to pick it up, I always ask them, what vehicle are you driving? You realize this is heavy, bring some help, that kind of thing. Because I've had people show up too, and I don't think they realize what they're getting into. So, but they are one solid piece. At least the ones that I've ever gotten, they're always
one
just
piece.
A solid piece.
Just if you're transporting them, take the topper off.
Absolutely, yeah. I've had a lot of broken toppers,
because that'll just be blown away.
Exactly. Yep.
$20 super chat from Francis. Thank you so much, Francis. We really do appreciate that. And those super chats are super helpful, and they do help the channel out a lot. So thank you guys very much for doing that. We very much appreciate it. Let's see. From Francis, in your experience at the casino, what is it about the atmosphere that common sense goes out the window? Thank you kindly, Cowboy Slots, and your smart buddy, Mark. Well, thank you very much for the question and for the super chat, Francis. We really do appreciate it. The casino is a very interesting industry. It's an industry of, there's a lot of superstition. There's a lot of myth. There's a lot of, you would be amazed there. When I worked in the casino, there were times that we would walk around and people would, rub on the machine and cover it with charms. And, there's a lot of, there's just so much when it comes to psychology that plays a part in the casino industry. And the most important thing for people to realize is, if you want to be a smart gambler, is you need to just stick to the facts when you go into the casino. You need to be factual. So, you need to know, okay, in my mind, when you see a penny machine, you don't want to get tricked into thinking, oh, it's just a penny. You want to look at how much you're spending. If you're spending 1,000 credits, you're spending $10. So the smart thing to do would be to go to a $10 slot, spend the exact same amount of money, but have an astronomical better chance of doing that. Those are the kinds of things to really better your casino play, and to utilize your common sense. But no, you are absolutely correct that in the casino business, 9 times out of 10, when people go in, common sense can oftentimes go out the window, which can be dangerous if you don't know the facts and if you don't stick to those facts to better your play. And Mark, I'm sure you can elaborate on that as well.
It's all by design, all the way down to the machines you're playing. It's definitely a psychology thing, and they know it.
Another $5 super sticker from Francis. Again, thank you very much. We really appreciate
it.
And we got a $2 super chat from Neo 1442. How much is taken out for a slot hand pay for taxes? So that Mark, do you know the federal?
I think it's around 20%.
I think it's around 20.
And again, we are not offering tax advice. We always have to say this, because I don't want you to take our word for it. But if you do gamble a lot and you do hit jackpots a lot, make sure that you do not have them take out the taxes, because you can offset those with your losses at the end of the year, and you can get a lot of that money wiped off. But go and look. It really depends on what your play is, and if you take standard deductible, that type of thing. So go and what I would do is go do a Google search for how to claim losses on gambling wins, and you will find out everything you need to know, kind of what your threshold is to have them take out or not take out, that type of thing. But it can sting. 20% is a lot, but if you gamble a lot, you can get a lot of that wiped off at the end of the year. So.
Question from Mel. When picking a slot machine, is it better to select a highly used slot if it's multi-denom and players were playing at 25 cents and you change to a $1 bet? Does that matter? So no, it doesn't matter. Each denomination on the machine is programmed separately. They have separate accounting records. They have separate odds. Basically, when you switch the denomination on a machine, it's essentially the same as switching to a whole new machine entirely. Let's see here. This is a question for Mark. Kay says, is it possible to buy the original Game of Thrones machine that was used in the casino a few years ago, not the most current one?
Yeah, unfortunately, and that's the story of the ones you see behind me too. Licensed games, especially any that were created in the last, say, 10 years, are mostly leased. And so when they leave the casino floor, they go back to the manufacturer. So they don't end up on the public market. And even the ones that do end up on the public market, they're very rare and very hard to come by. I think I probably have the only Lord of the Rings complete sitting behind me because those were destroyed when they left the casino. And so it really depends on the theme, but most are licensed around some kind of game like Wheel of Fortune, Game of Thrones, anything like that. For a movie or TV show, it's going to be next to impossible to find. And if you do, it's going to be big dollars.
For sure.
Yeah.
Deftones 22. Is there a certain cutoff on hand pays where it changes from a regular casino employee handling the payout to where a manager or security has to get involved? Yes, there is actually, there are several levels of it. So in the casino that I worked for, $3,000 or less was handled by just a regular slot attendant. $5,000, if it was above 3,000 but less than 5,000, then a supervisor had to sign off on it. 5,000 to 10,000, a manager had to sign off on it. 20,000 or more, surveillance had to verify it, and security would have to be present and to do that. So yes, that is true. There are percentages, and every casino is different. That's a company policy. That's not any kind of a law or anything like that. So that it is all casino specific when it comes to that. Carol, is the payback percentage done on a monthly or yearly basis? For an example, if a machine has paid back its 98% in the month's time, has it reached its max? So no, the payback percentage is not a goal that the machines have to try to hit within a certain time or anything like that. It's just the average. And Mark, you can go into details on that.
God, please don't make me do it. This is a very difficult topic. In fact, Brentley and I have had conversations about how we can best relay this information, but it's not done on a monthly or yearly basis. It's usually set at the time that the machine is presented to the floor, either by the manufacturer whenever the order is placed, or when it hits the floor, the slot technicians will program it, and then it just sits there at that percentage until they pull it off the floor. And it's just a theoretical amount. It's an amount that the casino knows overall they're going to win a certain amount off of it, or they're going to have a certain amount of money collected off of that machine for the lifetime that it's on the floor. And that's all it really is. There's not any kind of, on the weekends, the percentage is, weekends is the catch-up period where it just goes low because it hasn't had a lot of play. And then during the weekdays, it goes high because people are not playing, those types of things. That's just not the way it works. It's just a fixed amount. It takes a long time to get to that amount. As I mentioned earlier, it's just not. It's not something that you can spot, on any kind of time length.
For sure.
Yeah.
Tammy's here. Hi, Tammy. Tammy is a regular viewer. I actually don't think she's ever missed a live stream.
All
I
right.
think she's gotten to every single live stream. She's usually the first one here. So welcome, Tammy. And yes, she says super chats help this channel. Yes, they do very much so. Thank you very much for that, Tammy. I appreciate that. And big shout out to you for always being here. I see you. I see you there. Let's see. Question: why would a casino recently put a row of regular dollar slots in the middle of their high dollar slots room? It depends. It could be marketing. It could be them. Maybe they had to make room. Most likely, they probably had to make room for other newer machines coming out on the floor, and they moved those into that room. Um, that would really be the only thing I could think of, or it was a common request from people. That was about
Could you
it.
pick up that question from Peggy? It was a follow-up question. Yeah.
Is this one here?
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, you're right. An American Casino Guide is right. This only applies to if you're taking the standard deduction. If you're not going to take the standard deduction and you itemize, that's when you would do it. But again, don't take tax advice from me. Don't start telling them not to collect taxes. It really depends on your situation. But if the amount that you are winning, your jackpot amount, is higher than what your standard deduction is at the end of the year, then you want to offset that with the losses. But good. I'm glad we got that follow up.
All right. David says, is it a myth that license/theme slots are tighter than non-themed slot games? Yes, it is a myth. So again, the payback percentages of the slot machines are legally regulated items. We'll just start with that. Slot machines are legally regulated items. It does not matter if they're new. It doesn't matter if they're old. It doesn't matter if they have, a name brand on it or no name brand whatsoever. They all have to follow the same standards. So they can't, if you have a regular dollar machine and then you have a dollar, themed game, they still have to follow that same standard. However, it depends on the volatility of the game. A lot of these licensed and themes games are a lot more volatile. They have a lot more ways to win, and they can take your money quicker. So it really all depends on the volatility. But as for them being tighter, the answer to that would be no, that would be a myth. But just watch and always look at your pay tables and always know your games. Because again, the volatility will play a big factor on that. Let's see here. Duke says Indiana casinos in Michigan rope off machine banks. Watch they put money in, spin it, write down the payoffs. Some were on, some were off. Why the machines were on the night before. So the thing is I can almost guarantee you 100% that they're not putting money in. There are like bill validator calibration strips to calibrate bill validators. There are tickets that have, certain information on it that they can use for calibrating purposes. That's most likely it. But as for putting physical money in, I don't think that they would be doing that. That's not something that they can do. It's mostly just for calibrating purposes, and that's most likely what it was. And Mark, you can probably elaborate on that too.
I saw a slot technician once when he was turning a machine on for the first time. It was the first time the machine hit the floor. He put a voucher in and hit a spin, and I think they probably have to do that to just validate that the money in is working. But it's not money, again, it's just a ticket. But after he did it and he cashed out, I saw him filling out a bunch of stuff on his clipboard. So I suspect it's just a test spin, to make sure the machine is actually working before they release the out of service mode. And after that, but they're not in there monkeying with it. I promise you.
Do they pay better after the door is opened? No.
Yeah, only if you're standing on your right foot. No.
Right. Yeah, no.
No, it makes no difference whatsoever. Whether a machine was turned off recently, whether the door was open recently or not, makes no difference.
So this is a common question that we get asked a lot in the casino. Devtones22 says, if me and my wife are playing and a slot and taking turns pressing the spin button, and I was the one to insert the money, but she pressed the button on the hand pay, does the casino make her pay the taxes or can I claim it? So the answer to that is the person that presses the button is the winner of the jackpot. So it doesn't matter whose money it is, it's the person that pushes the button. And that might vary state to state, so check that. But in general speaking, most all casinos, the person that presses the button is the actual would be the winner of that. Mark, I'll let you take this one.
Okay. Point to Black says, question, are the slots near more walking traffic areas more likely to pay out better? No, and there's no way you can know that. The payback percentages are set and they move machines around constantly, and there's no way to know that, machines at the end of the aisle or the ones in the middle or the ones, in view of everybody would make any kind of difference. That's just not the way that they're set up. And so there's no way you can know that is really the answer to
that. Bully and Bear, when new currency designs come out, does each bill validator on the machines have to be changed out? So they don't have to be changed out. They can be updated. There are chips and programming actually in the bill validator itself that's just for that. That. So they don't have to change out the whole bill validator. I've got bill validators that are super old, which, by the way, I need to order another one here soon. I'll get in touch with you on that, Mark, to buy
hurry up because they're disappearing fast.
A new bill validator. But no, they can just update it. They can update the programming on it.
Yep.
I know, right? Let's see. What slot is better? That's a very broad question because there's a lot of machines, there's a lot of games. It's really just a matter of, obviously, the slot that's going to be the best for you is going to be what's most entertaining for you. Because again, entertainment is why the casinos are there for you. You want to be entertained and you want to have fun while you're playing. So whatever slot is better is really kind of determining on you and on your budget. And I'm sure, if you were to sit down and break down like, okay, I have this in my budget, I'm going to this casino and so on and so forth, like we could give you some ideas, but as for what slot is better, that would be really just kind of on you and what's most entertaining for you. If I go to a slot, out of state, forget to cash out the ticket in my wallet, can I mail the ticket back and have it cashed at the casino, or is it an in-person payout only? That would be a casino specific question, because that's again would be casino specific for that. Let's see. Sal, I didn't wait 5 minutes after joining the live chat before asking the question. I saw a bank of machines reboot by themselves with the message reconfiguration and process. Were they changing the odds? No. Mark, you can elaborate on that if you'd like.
Yeah, it could be anything. That's just a standard message whenever the machines are being booted. It doesn't mean that anything like configuration-wise was changed. It could have been a power thing. It could have been they had them off because they were moving them. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons that those machines were powered off, but that's just a standard message when you turn a machine on for the first time, is that it does a reconfiguration.
Right. Reggie King, do unbalanced machines most likely pay out versus a balanced machine? So when we're talking about the topic of balancing, we're talking about the accounting record. That has nothing to do with the RNG or the percent or the payback percentages or anything like that. We're talking about the actual accounting record, because the accounting record obviously, has to stay balanced just like any accounting record would. So that's what we're referring to when we're referring to balancing on the machines, is the accounting record. As for paying out, every machine still has the equal chance to pay out, regardless of that.
Yeah, and just to elaborate on that again, just because the machine is set to a certain amount and it's not close to that amount doesn't mean that it's going to be doing anything to try to get it closer to that amount in the short term. I have a perfect example of this top dollar machine I have over here. I cleared it off, and within the first couple days of playing, I hit the top jackpot twice within days. I have not hit it since, but the machine was way unbalanced. It was 230% when it should have been 98%. And it's still well over 200%. It's going to take it a long time to come down to the 98%, but it will eventually, over about 1 million spins, it will eventually come back down to the 98%. But the important thing to remember is that you're not going to be able to witness any kind of balancing or unbalancing in your individual session at a machine. And there's no way to tell where it's at. So don't, try not to let that manipulate your play. Or if you see a machine that somebody's sitting at and they're suddenly just winning all the time, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're going to have the same interaction with that machine when it's your turn to sit down and play. So just try to keep that in mind and stay focused, because it's easier for your brain to get locked into something and thinking that there's something to this. But I promise you there's not. It's just going to take a long time to balance.
Well, and that's the important thing too, to always keep in mind, is that when it comes to the casino, you as the player are only in there for such a short amount of time. You're not going to notice this. Obviously, from our perspective, we have spent hours and hours and hours and days and days and days with these machines and inside these machines. Obviously, we can kind of start to tell on stuff. But even like Mark said, it takes millions and millions of spin. You're just simply not going to be there for that long of a time to actually see that. So just keep that in mind too. $10 super chat. Thank you guys for sharing your expertise. You are very welcome. And again, thank you so much for those super chats, guys. Those super chats really do help the channel, and we greatly appreciate that. What is your opinion on Blazing 7 slot? Several versions of it. I personally, if you're wanting my personal opinion, I don't like it. But that's my personal opinion. Mark, what's yours?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly boring to play.
I don't.
But it's a low volatile game in the sense that it's fairly easy, all things considered, to get the triple sevens, like a mix sevens or regular sevens, all things considered. But personally, my take on it is I wouldn't play it either. But that's personal opinion. I've got that on my G23 over here, and I don't play it because it's too boring.
Let's see here. Are US-based online casinos regulated the same as the physical casinos in the states where it's legal? To most of an extent, yes, they are. The legit legal ones will be regulated similarly. But again, that's the important thing, is you want to make sure that you're playing at a legit online casino. And again, if you are just joining us, we did talk about online casinos a little bit before. There are some legal good ones out there. I would really, really strongly recommend MGM. And if you go onto the community page of my YouTube channel, there is a link on there for the MGM Grand Online Casino. And there is a deal on there for you guys for, I believe it's up to $1,000 in bet reimbursement or bet match. So you can access that by going on to the YouTube channel and then going on to the community page on the YouTube channel. We're just looking down, trying to catch up on some of these questions, guys. There are a lot of questions, so we do apologize if we can't get to your question or skip it at all. We do apologize on that. Do either of you have tips for a $3,000 budget? Should I play higher denominations on the casino floor or go to the high limit room? So I'll start, and then Mark can kind of chime in on his tips. $3,000 is quite a big budget to play with. If that is the amount that you have already set aside, and always you want to make sure that you plan to lose it, just in case. So if that is your budget that you have set aside to gamble, I would recommend doing probably start at a $5 slot, or probably the best to get a hand pay. Usually $10 slots are the best to get a hand pay on, because it's pretty much you get anything. It's real easy. It's easy math. 10 is an easy number to multiply. So those $10 slots tend to be the best when it comes to hitting jackpots. For a $3,000 budget, though, I would definitely stick to higher $5, $10 or greater slot machines. And then always walk around the entire floor first, because not all high limit machines are in the high limit room. And then stick with low volatile games, basic games. And that would be my tips. And Mark, you can chime in there on yours for that kind of budget.
Pretty much the same. The only other variable to that is how long. If you have a 3K
that kind of
budget
pretty much the same.
And it's for your entire trip to Vegas, break that up into chunks. I think the time makes a difference that you're planning to be in a casino, because $3,000 is a good budget, but if you're only going to be there for a couple hours, it could be gone by then. So just, it really depends on how much, time you think you're going to be in the casino at the time. But I would say the same. I think $5 and $10 is a pretty good starting place.
We'll take let's see, we are at 1 hour and 21 minutes now, so we'll go to an hour and 30 minutes. So we've got about 9 minutes left in this Sunday's broadcast. We'll take a couple more questions. And again, guys, we do greatly apologize if we missed your question. We do apologize for that. There's a lot of questions coming in, and there is a little bit of a delay, so they kind of all roll in at once and get jumbled and mixed in. So you want to make sure we do this every Sunday, so you can come back next Sunday too if we missed your question. So we'll take a couple more here. Let's see. Do the higher denominations have the same impact helping your chances at Class 2 bingo slots? So with Class 2 casinos, obviously they do operate a little bit differently, because they rely on a bingo server to run the game. As for the higher denominations, it doesn't have as big of an impact as with Class 3 gaming, but it does have a little bit of an impact in terms of getting a bigger reward from that. What are some low volatile game titles? Double, triple, diamond. So this is a good one. Mark, you want to give us some good low volatile game options?
Yeah, any of those double diamonds, triple diamonds. I know you don't like Sizzling Sevens, but Sizzling Sevens is a good one. Basically, my rule of thumb is to look at the top jackpot amount. This is max credits bet, the top award. The lower that is in comparison to your bet is a lower volatile machine. So the higher that goes, and this is not, slot machine wide, but it's a general rule. And so the higher that goes, the more volatile it is. For example, I believe a double diamond, a 2 credit max bet, it's 1,600 credits for the three double diamonds. But if you say 10 times pay, 10 times pays is $10,000, so 10,000 credits. So it's much bigger. And so that means it's more volatile. It's harder to get. And just to kind of, many people may not understand what volatility means. So a volatile machine means that you're going to have infrequent wins, but when you do win, it's generally a higher amount than what you would have on a lower volatile machine. A lower volatile machine, you have more frequent wins, but they're just smaller amounts. So that's why, when we say pick a slot that makes the most sense, the volatility is actually a pretty crucial step in that process of picking the right machine. Do you want something that's just going to kind of give you some steady wins and you have fun and you get the drinks and you have fun with your friends and all that kind of stuff? Pick a lower volatile machine. But if maybe you just hit a hand pay and you want to push your luck a little bit, go to a high volatile machine and maybe you can get that rare hit. So it's just, and games are from all ends of the spectrum. Some are extremely low and some are extremely high. And it's hard to tell which are which, but yep.
Let's see here. Here's a good one. What all can cause a jackpot to be denied? The most common question, or the most common thing that I have seen a jackpot get denied for, was actually because the person was had a self ban on them, or they were a member of Gamblers Anonymous or getting gambling help. So here's the thing: if you participate in any kind of a state program or anything like that, where you exclude yourself from the casino, or you do go to seek gambling help at all, we will actually deny your jackpot for that. The other things that I've seen jackpots denied for is Social Security and name mismatch. I've seen that before, where somebody was in the country and they should not have been, and they had an ID that did not belong to them, and they had a social security number that was fake, and that obviously caused them to get their jackpot denied. Because when we do go to process your jackpots, we take your ID and we run it against your social security number. If those two do not match, it's considered a mismatch, and we can't pay it. That actually can happen too, and this is really important. I like to tell people, if you get married, make sure that you go through the process of changing your name accordingly, and always change it with the Social Security Department first, or the Social Security Administration first, because if your name on your driver's license does not match your name on your Social Security, that will cause a jackpot to be denied. And I have seen that happen before. So those are really the main reasons why. As for technical difficulties and machine malfunctions, I have never had one. I've never had one working in the casino where we've had to deny a jackpot for that reason. Have you heard about anything like that, Mark? Or
In the past, if you go to YouTube and you search, woman deny jackpot, there are a few out there. It's extremely rare, and especially the newer the machines get, the more protections they have against things like that happening. Everything is logged now on these machines. I mean, all the way down to sensors that detect somebody bumping the machine can get logged. And so, with that log of everything that's occurring, it's very difficult for a malfunction to occur that would result in a bad thing to be displayed on the machine and denied a jackpot. But it's happened, but it's rare. And as you can imagine, the news cycles really pick stuff like that up. It's good news. But it's not something that you're ever going to have to worry about, I don't think.
Yeah, for sure. Sandy asks, you recommend that we know the state's gambling laws. What exactly do we ask for when contacting the state's gaming commission? So every state is different. Not all states and not all tribes have to provide payout percentages. Every single state and every single tribe is different. I would gather your list of questions that you have for them, call them or contact them, send them an email. You can always do that too. But the gaming commissions will talk to you. There's certain information that they might not give you, but the gaming commissions will talk to you still. So really, it's just a matter of what do you want to ask them? Do you want to ask them payback percentage? Do you want to ask them is something true or not? And they will oftentimes tell you. If you call them and you say, hey, is it true that the casinos can change their odds based on the time of the day or a holiday, or can they set this machine better than this one, even though it's the same denomination? I mean, they'll probably just tell you, no, that's not true. Just call and ask them. Guys, these casinos and these gaming commissions are actually pretty easy folks to talk to. A lot of this information, it's funny because a lot of people have this notion that, the casino is super secretive and they won't tell you anything, and the gaming commission is super secretive and won't tell you anything. Guys, they're just normal people just like us. So if if you honestly want to know if your player's card affects the outcome of the game, and you're getting conflicting things on YouTube, just call the commission and ask them. Call the casino and ask them. They'll tell you the answer. They'll tell you the truth. So a lot of times you can get the information just by asking. So I always tell people, never be afraid to ask. It doesn't hurt to ask at all. So we are at an hour and 30 minutes. We will take one final question, then we'll do some closing thoughts, and we'll wrap up this Sunday's live stream. Before we go, just to let you guys know too, a lot of people have asked about these poker chips. They are still available for sale. There's a banner scrolling at the bottom of the screen for the information on that. So check that out. And all those proceeds do help the channel out. So if you've been interested in the poker chips, definitely check those out. Help the channel out. Also, make sure that you're sharing the videos. The contest is ending soon. And by the way, Mark also has a contest going on over on his channel, Home Slots Fun. Mark, do you want to tell us a little bit about that contest that you have going on?
Yeah, sure. So we're close to 2,000 subscribers. I'm not anywhere close to Cowboy, and that's okay. We did this at 1,000 subscribers, but we did a top dollar contest where everybody got a free entry to play a top dollar bonus, and we went live. We had a lot of fun. Anybody who ended up with the highest bonus amount at the end won some cash. So we're about to hit 2,000 soon, so I'll be doing the exact same thing, and it's free to enter. So if you're interested, come on over and subscribe, and we'd love to have you. And we'll be doing that soon. Should be a lot of fun.
All right. Let's see. We'll take one final question here. I think this will be a good question to round out the live stream on.
Yeah.
Does knocking on the machine help your chances? I know the answer to that, but it's funny to see people doing that. Guys, the machine doesn't know it. It doesn't care. I mean,
it hurts my feelings though.
Yeah. A lot of times, I mean, I have seen people sit there and slam their hand on the machine. Guys, the machine does nothing to the machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can cause you to get kicked out of the casino though.
Yeah. It makes people like me very upset because it's hard to get these parts, and seeing people beat on the machines, it's heartbreaking.
So anyway, guys, we are at our 1 hour and 30 minute mark. This was the first ever episode that we have a co-host here on Cowboy Slots, and Mark is going to be joining us now every single Sunday, and this is going to be the new format for it. We are always looking for ways to improve the Sunday live streams. So always leave us your comments. Give us your feedback. This is a new format. This is a new program for us. So make sure to give us your feedback on it. If you enjoyed it, let us know. And then also make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up, and then keep up the sharing. The contest does end soon on my channel, guys. So again, on the 25th, which is Saturday, on Saturday the 25th, I'm going to be doing a live drawing of all of those shared entries. So this is your final chance to go and share the video, which really quickly, I will show you exactly how to do that. Let me show you here. So in case you are wondering, so this is the video that we're sharing. It's how to get a hand pay jackpot playing a low budget. All you have to do is hit this little share button right here. When you hit that share button, you've got the option to copy the link, and you can put that anywhere. You can put it on your Facebook. You can put it on all these platforms. As long as you hit that share button and you're sharing the video, and then all you have to do is just scroll down and add your comment, #shared, and that will get you entered in to the giveaway. And the information for the giveaway is right here. If you want to see the prizes or rules, it's on the website at ropethejackpot.com. And also make sure that you give that video a thumbs up. So make sure to give that video a thumbs up there. Anyway, guys, so that is all that I have for you today. Mark, do you have anything that you want to add for this Sunday?
No, I appreciate your time. Hope you guys enjoyed the format. We're really excited to be doing this going forward. I think we can take in a lot of more questions. And happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Yes,
sure
happy Father's Day.
Call your dad. Believe me, he wants to hear from you.
All right, guys. This was Sunday Slot Talk with a Tech. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching, and come back next Sunday. We'll see you then.